I think it was 2011. I made my first trip to Japan, and it was they were going to plan a kind of small event, and it kept getting bigger. And finally, they said, "How many people can you train?" And I said, "Well, maybe 100." So when I showed up, I looked Yuji, who's the master of all of this in Japan. I said, "Okay, how many are there?" And he said, 140. And I said, "How many are teachers?" And he said, 2. And I had sent a curriculum book to be translated, my textbook to teach through curriculum. So I was teaching 138 businessmen and IT specialists and CEOs with stories about, I was using a fairy tale from Poland in it. But it was interesting how well they did with it and how much they enjoyed learning through TOCfE tools. And this gentleman was in that audience, and he is from Kyoto University. He's a professor of business, and a very famous university. They have a lot of Nobel winners from there. And he sat, and it was a big auditorium like this, and on the last day, he stood up in the back and he said, "And I'm going to use this textbook to teach my MBA, my Master's of Business students, how to think." So I thought that was a very, very open-minded person who would, an instructor a professor that would say that, to use children's stories to teach his business students. And it's my great pleasure to welcome him to this conference.
Thank you, Cassie. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Last evening, I was a sleeping boy by jet lag. I'm sorry to cause your concern. I slept soundly, so I will make a good speech this morning. Thank you. Dear Cassie, I am very happy to meet you again here. I'll be filled with gratitude when I see your face. Thank you for the coordination by Mr. Matek. Your opening presentation inspired me. I appreciate that you gave me the opportunity for presentation at European Solidarity Center, the historical memorial in democratization of Poland. Standing here moves me deeply. Nice to meet international members of TOCfE for education and everyone in Poland. I'd like to talk about me and our experience in Japan from 2011 to now. I am a professor of marketing at business school, and I am president TOCfE for Education Japan branch. I participated in the first TOCfE for Education program in Japan, held in 2011 by Cassie. This was the beginning of everything. In this lecture, I would like to show you the first section, what kind of results were produced in Japan for 7 years. And the second section, what kind of results I personally produced. The final section, I will talk about the characteristics and ambitious targets of Japanese TOCfE for education. First of all, I will show you about 5 results in Japan for 7 years. Firstly, we are holding the TOCfE Learning Connection programs widely and repeatedly. We hold a summer 4 days seminar at Tokyo or Kyoto every year. And from Hokkaido to Okinawa, we hold open programs in various places of Japan. There are many difficulties in organizing these problems, but we are touched by every participant active learning. It is also an opportunity for us to learn every time. This slide is summer program in summer every year, and a local program, Kanazawa to Gifu. Secondly, we trained for team master facilitators, learning connection master facilitators through the program lecture trainings. They are holding programs they are proud of, my friend. Yumiko Yoshida, please stand up. She is a master lead facilitator and a board member of Japan branch. And Professor, thank you. Professor Masako Takasu, she is a master facilitator and editorial-in-chief of New Journal. Thank you. Mayuko Hamano, stand up. Thank you. She is a master facilitator and a board member. And Masahiro Watanabe, he is a master facilitator. Yuria Kanda, she is a master facilitator trainee. Yeah, thank you. Thirdly, in various places of Japan, there are many local communities that run and exchange TOCfE education. These local communities hold learning seminars, discussions of participant subjects, reviews meeting by groups, unique topic, analysis of love songs, and various activities. Fourth, some books introducing the TOCfE education have published. Yuji Kishida, Goldratt Consulting, wrote this book for children. This book is 3 Secret Truths for Children to Think Logically. And Motoi Tobita, a life coach, wrote a book explaining the use of TOCfE education that is useful for children's support. Also, we are preparing to issue an academic journal on TOCfE education. The first issue will be published soon. Fifth, we established NPO Corporation, TOCfE Education Japan branch in 2013. Currently, we have 145 members, 4 directors, 1 auditor, and 4 staff members. Revenue in fiscal year 2016 was approximately $52,000. We are holding an annual symposium at Tokyo or Kyoto. Mr. Maciek and Ms. Marta from Poland, Dr. Jane Korpus from Philippines, Ms. Christine from Singapore visited Japan and gave keynote speech. The above 5 points are noteworthy results in Japan. In the second section, I'll show you 5 results of my personal 7 years. First, I teach critical thinking course at our business school, Graduate School of Management, Kyoto University. MBA students need to examine and evaluate the data and information. They need to build a team and channel creativity through communication. In order to achieve these, I teach them TOCfE for education as a tool of critical thinking. They use all three tools to analyze business problems and propose solutions. For example, the illustration of this logic branch is an analysis of the reasons for Nintendo's bad performance before a new game machine Switch released. Secondly, I teach critical thinking at Kyoto University's undergraduate seminar for first-year students. Some first-year students of the Faculty of Letters, Faculty of Economics, Faculty of Science, etc. learn critical thinking. They use these tools for their studies. Also, they use this for life challenge and goals. They create a collection of examples for high school students and college students to learn about these tools. For example, this ATT picture on the left side explains the Hideyoshi Toyotomi's unification of Japan in 16th century. This right side cloud diagram explains whether Japan participates in TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Agreement, or does not. Third, I will offer 4 online courses on critical thinking, TOCfE for education. This is offered at Kyoto University's small private online course, SPOC platform Koala. We will offer these courses to high school students in cooperation with high school next February. Fourth, I wrote about the TOCfE for education in part of the book on critical thinking research book. And my paper on logic branch application has passed by peer reviews and will be published in the newly issued journal. Fifth, my son, Sakutaro, 10 years old, joined in summer seminar, the TOCfE Learning Connection Facilitator Training in Tokyo this year. My boy enjoyed its seminar for 4 days. He made a presentation on the branch as a free study of the elementary school's summer vacation. I'm proud of him. The above 5 points are noteworthy results of me. Finally, I will present the uniqueness of TOCfE for education in Japan. The TOCfE for education was originally born and used to solve problems faced by teachers in school education. FE brings balance between curriculum-based education and learning to make it useful for responsible decision-making. However, in Japan, business persons that utilize TOCfE for business are learning and using TOCfE for education. They not only use the TOCfE for education for business, but also use it for consultation support or parenting or anytime. The reason why such utilization has spread is that TOCfE education is universal, and its characteristic is that everyone can utilize anytime, anywhere. The second reason is that we are offering open programs, and anyone can participate and study in them. As a result, local communities that run and exchange TOCfE education in various places of Japan are expanding. Many people voluntarily learn and encourage each other. This is a short analysis on the situation in Japan. As our weakness of Japan, the TOCfE education is not widely known yet. Application at school and use of school teachers are not spreading, and we have no paid staff. And opportunities for us, the Japanese government has launched student participatory active learning and critical thinking education as a direction of new school education in the 21st century. School education in Japan is about to change dramatically, which is a great opportunity for TOCfE education. Now that technology such as AI is affecting society, the ability to think autonomously and to clearly communicate is increasingly required. For business persons that utilize TOCfE for business, we are paying attention to TOCfE education. Why? So that many people trust each other, participate, and create a place to think independently. However, as a threat for us, since Japanese schools are closed and school teachers are so busy, it is difficult to spread TOCfE education in school. This slide shows our plan in this February annual symposium. Based on this SWOT analysis, we will show you our history, the past, now, and the future. In 2011, dear Cassie, visited Japan and the first TOCfE education program was held. Right now, we have many open programs. As a result, the number of master facilitators has increased. The local communities has expanded. Annual symposium is also held. NPO members are increasing. In November this year, we held the first Master Facilitators meeting at Nagano. At the master meeting, we talked about our TOCfE education practice each other. We shared various experiences and got many insights. For example, we got the insight that everyone can use TOCfE education anytime, anywhere, and can solve his or her problem and create his or her future. Also, we got an insight that the TOCfE education does not work well unless it is an attitude of respecting people, and it depends on deepening of care of self and the others. Therefore, we would like to expand the TOCfE education as an open place. Open concept is very important. To that end, I'd like to develop programs and teaching materials and facilitators or instructors for each target. That is school, company, parent, student, children. These core players and engines are the master facilitators and the paid staff. To this end, an increase in revenue is also necessary. These are the next goals for us, the TOCfE for Education Japan branch. We hope that more and more people, all segments, are learning and use TOCfE for Education to make a better world. There is a word, Ichigu wo terasu, light up one corner by Saicho, a Japanese Buddhist monk in 8th and 9th century. This word means brighten the world at your corner. Saicho says, what are nation's treasures? It is not physical wealth, but that shines light into a dark corner. I want to be a candle to lighten up the world at one corner. And I want to make everyone to light up one corner by TOCfE for Education. Thank you. And any question? What?
Czy pytania jakieś są? Czy tutaj potrzebny jest nam tłumacz? I think that there is no at this moment. Okay. Thank you.
Po polsku znowu, tak? Aha. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you. So I know, but this is clear, right? Thank you so much, because it was really inspirational. Chciałam zapytać, bo nie jestem pewna, czy dobrze zrozumiałam, czy rzeczywiście wszystkie te szkolenia, które są organizowane w Japonii, są darmowe?
He ordered me to answer your question. Instead, we work together so that I can answer you.
Okay.
The workshop was paid by participants, but very few, because we are working without any, facilitator are not paid. But we need some money to, book a space or publish a textbook or something like that, so that the participants has to pay small amount of money, but we are not paid. We are totally volunteer.
So you're working as volunteers?
Yes.
And they have like 100 of them. Unbelievable. This is...
Just a swarm of people come in and set this whole thing up. They have 100 volunteers. They have a party afterwards. And these people work. They stay beyond when the class is over to work. And they bring their children. There is a child here today.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know.
In fact, when I did a facilitator training, a little girl came in with her dad and just sat in the back for two days.
That is absolutely
They
wonderful.
bring their children,
No, I mean,
and their children do the work too in the class. It's quite amazing. It's so inspiring. And I don't want to take up too much time, but this was the first time that we really began to look at building a community, to teaching into the community, to take it beyond just teachers or counselors or parents in a school. Because the man that's the man behind this, Yuji, believes we're all teachers, learners, doers, that we can all teach someone in our home or in our, and this was the way it will spread. So it was a real bottom-up community thing that has really kind of inspired what I'm going to be talking about later today.
Ja tylko jeszcze może dodam, już przekazuję, że tylko dodam, że to jest właśnie kwestia innej kultury. Mieliśmy 2 dni temu piękną, wspaniałą prezentację z Brazylii, gdzie też cały proces jest oparty na wolontariuszach. Tak, także każdy kraj robi to w inny sposób, dostosowując to do swojej kultury i do swoich potrzeb.
Can I ask 2 questions? Okay. My first question would be, do you think critical thinking will have some cultural context? For example, in Asia, does Asian culture make the program or the method or the way you do it a little bit different? And second question is about your SWOT, SWOT. I noticed that at the threats part, you put EdTech, which is educational technology, I guess. I'm curious about about your opinion about that. Do you think educational technology will be a threat, or it could help critical thinking? Thank you.
文化の側面が関係あるかどうかっていうのは、多分アジアの人気においてどうでしょうかっていうのが最初です。
Thank you. This is an important question. I try to research and to think the Asia's context or perspective. But our program based restrictedly caches text materials, critical thinking, basic principle is not different from Western or and Asia, but human use critical thinking. So we based in our traditional culture, logical branch, ambitious target, crowd thinking style, perhaps Japanese thinking process pattern style is different from European people. Especially in Japan, critical thinking is more important than Western value, because many Japanese people do not speak my direct, my honest opinion. Often, our Japanese people adjust the other's opinion or context. We Japanese need more critical thinking capabilities in this society, and in the 21st society.